Imagine for a moment that everywhere in the universe, from the surface of distant moons to the deepest chasms of alien worlds, was wrapped in a breathable, Earth-like atmosphere. What kind of world would that be? This hypothetical situation turns the cosmic environment into something strangely familiar, yet utterly surreal. But it's not just about endless possibilities, it's about how such a radical change would alter the very fabric of reality as we know it. A universe we could walk through. Picture this. You step out of a spacecraft onto the barren surface of Mars, only to be greeted not by the suffocating vacuum of space but by a fresh gust of wind, oxygen-rich and gentle against your skin. The sky above, tinted faintly red from the Martian dust, is no longer hostile but inviting. There's no need for bulky spacesuits or complex life support systems. You can walk freely on almost any planet or moon, breathe deeply, and explore with nothing more than a sturdy pair of boots and a sense of adventure. Every star system becomes a potential vacation spot. You could hike across the icy plains of Europa, sipping the cool, moist air under a Jupiter sky. Or maybe you'd prefer to surf the vast seas of methane on Titan, with the dense, habitable atmosphere amplifying the already alien beauty of Saturn's rings overhead. New alien ecosystems. In this universe, life would be everywhere, thriving, diverse, and bizarre. An Earth-like atmosphere, rich in oxygen and nitrogen, would fundamentally change how planets and moons evolve. Planets that were once considered inhospitable might now teem with vegetation, oceans, and even intelligent life. Picture entire ecosystems on Venus, where lush rainforests thrive under the shade of thick clouds, or towering forests on Pluto, with its frozen tundras supporting strange, frost-resistant flora. Asteroids could become airborne oases, floating islands populated by exotic life forms. Colonies of organisms could live in the shadow of black holes or orbit the blazing edges of supernovae, each ecosystem uniquely adapted to its bizarre cosmic environment. We might not be the only ones walking the stars anymore. Gravity's strange consequences. But having a breathable atmosphere across the universe doesn't mean everything else would stay the same. Gravity would play a key role in shaping the possibilities of life and exploration. For instance, planets with stronger gravitational pulls would have denser atmospheres. Walking on Jupiter might feel like trying to trek through a thick, invisible soup. Lifting your legs would be a monumental effort, and even breathing could be a strain due to the crushing pressure. Conversely, on smaller moons or dwarf planets, the atmosphere might be so thin that every step you take sends you bouncing into the sky like a low-gravity balloon, with every breath feeling lighter and more exhilarating. Your body would have to adjust to these conditions, evolving or developing new technologies to manage the sheer variety of atmospheric densities and gravity fields you'd encounter. What happens to space? In this Earth-like universe, the distinction between planets, moons, and outer space starts to blur. If there's atmosphere everywhere, would space still be the vast vacuum we know? Instead of a cold, silent void, you might find yourself flying through a misty haze that extends far beyond a planet's surface. Stars could burn differently in this new environment. The ambient atmosphere might scatter light in ways we've never imagined, filling the sky with brilliant, prismatic hues and diffusing sunlight into extraordinary displays. Night skies on distant planets would glow with soft colors, nebulae would shine more vividly, and distant galaxies might twinkle with never-before-seen intensity. Space travel itself would be completely transformed. Propulsion systems that rely on a vacuum wouldn't work as they do today. Rockets would have to push through atmospheric resistance in deep space, forcing us to rethink everything we know about interstellar travel. But with an Earth-like atmosphere extending across the cosmos, we might find new ways to harness this environment, perhaps even designing aircraft like spaceships that glide on cosmic winds. A fragile paradise. Of course, making the entire universe habitable doesn't mean it would be entirely safe. An atmosphere, even an Earth-like one, brings new challenges. In our solar system, planets like Jupiter and Saturn are massive enough to generate enormous storms. Imagine what would happen if those storm systems spread across the universe. The swirling maelstroms of Jupiter's Great Red Spot, magnified by a habitable atmosphere, could become towering tempests, 1,000 times more powerful than anything Earth has ever experienced. Radiation, too, would be a menace. Without the protective magnetic fields like Earth's, planets could be bombarded by deadly solar radiation, leaving certain regions uninhabitable despite their breathable air. Space itself could turn into a danger zone, with cosmic rays and stellar radiation cutting through the universal atmosphere, making certain stretches of the cosmos more perilous than open spaces today. The end of isolation. If the entire universe shared the same breathable air, isolation as we know it would cease to exist. There would be no need to rely solely on oxygen tanks and isolated bubbles of life-supporting environments. Civilizations would be free to wander across the stars without fear of suffocation or the limitations imposed by their home planets. This interconnectedness would likely accelerate the growth of interstellar cultures, turning once inaccessible regions of space into bustling hubs of trade and exploration. Entire cosmic empires could spring up, with cities stretching from the surface of planets to the very edges of asteroid belts. A united, atmospheric universe might foster cooperation, or competition, on a scale we can barely comprehend. A cosmic breath of life. An Earth-like atmosphere blanketing the universe would transform the cosmos into a playground for life. It would be a place where humans and alien species alike could explore the farthest reaches of existence without the constant threat of death by asphyxiation or radiation. But such a world would also bring new challenges: storms of unimaginable power, shifting gravitational fields, and the ever-present danger of cosmic radiation. Still, this thought experiment allows us to imagine a universe not as an empty, cold void, but as a vibrant, dynamic space, alive with possibilities. A universe where, perhaps, the stars are no longer out of reach but simply a breath away.